KBLA Sports Minute, I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not to unsettle you. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. First. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
Market, beautiful crafts market, as we pivot from a wild day that we had yesterday. As you know, the show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God Almighty, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it started. We are in an outdoor market next to an art gallery in the center of the city, and it's one way of pivoting from an incredibly emotional day that we had on yesterday as we broadcast from Badagry and the Slave Memorial there. So before I tell you about all the sights and sounds that we're in the midst of today, I want to share with you a couple of insights and reactions to a very heavy day, and a day that brought up a lot of emotions, a lot of history, and a lot of reflections. First of all, I got a chance to speak with our tour guide, our docent, a little more deeply. And as usual with people you meet when you travel, and particularly in Africa, there is more than meets the eye. Miles, you're here obviously with me. We're producing on the fly as we catch can. And you connected with this man a little bit because it turns out he's not just a docent, he's also an artist.
Yeah. So, just like last trip, I found the parallels when I run into fellow musicians and on their path or whatever they're doing, but they still find a way to, create their art and produce their art. And there's purpose behind it, So, yeah, being a tour guide and, actually being in the field, giving tour guides and, actually like, real Negro spirituals in real life is what he's selling and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Excuse me, we're on the radio right now. This is funny.
okay,
You
look.
hear the sounds of the market.
Right.
We're in an outdoor market,
Right.
and it's actually raining, so there's sweeping going on, there's carving going on, and there's people trying to sell me stuff, even while Miles is reflecting on his connection with this this very intense. Our docent was quite very intense. And it turns out this is not just a job for him. This is his whole life's purpose.
Right. He's an artist and he has a job. He's not just a tour guide and that's his main thing. Like, he's the artist for God, you know what I mean? And he's, talking about bridging the gap. You're going to hear from him yourself, of course. He's talking about bridging the gap. He's literally giving you, he's going to actually sing some of his songs for you guys live. And I can't wait for you to hear that.
But what are the odds we get the docent who's intense about it? He's a reggae artist and he's an activist. And his day job is in alignment with his purpose. Yeah, kind of like yours.
Exactly, but
you're a rap artist, but your day job is KBLA, which happens to be in alignment with your purpose,
right,
of spreading positivity and consciousness.
And the thing is, take that down too, so it doesn't block out the sound for your microphone. But no, it's literally live 2025 versions of Negro spirituals of what my man is cooking up on the slave path. So you're literally hearing like what the soul of a man who walks these paths every day sounds like. So, I ain't gonna lie, I had my glasses on, but it was a little foggy behind the glasses as he started singing. That's the first thing I felt, it felt the ancestors literally singing to me on that same line that we had to, trek. So it was a beautiful experience. And I can't wait for you guys to hear everything and also hear the reaction of some of our people that got to experience the slave parts of it too.
Miles telling me to take the thing down so I don't block the microphone.
Right.
The thing is my poncho because it's pouring rain. So he's basically telling me get wet for the sake of the broadcast.
Look, and I'm just glad the people back home love the fact that we are authentically broadcasting for you. We're not putting no fluff on it. This is really the sounds where you gonna be. How's it gonna sound when you guys come out here yourself on the next trip, right?
Right. I mean, definitely you're in the middle of this African market. That you're hearing the cowbell, you're hearing the shakers. These are things that are being sold. I wish they didn't have a weight limit on on the things we could bring back, because I would be bringing you all gifts.
Right.
But,
paintings.
I mean, it never ceases to surprise me, though, Miles. I'm gonna say, even though I know the heaviness of what it is that we're up against when we go to these slave memorials, it never ceases to amaze me the deep impact, the way that it just shakes people all the way down to their soul. And it could be the most casual person, the person that doesn't seem like they would be interested in history, the person that's a party animal or just a jokester. There's something about that. And I don't think it's just the physical. I really feel like the ancestors come and they tap us on the shoulder and they imbue that physical reality of that slave memorial with their voices whispering in our ears or whispering to our spirits. And I mean, I don't mean to sound airy-fairy, but I've seen it time and time again. This is our 8th trip with African Focus. And our 3rd trip, I believe, or 4th trip with KBLA, and it just never fails. It always happens. People break all the way down, and we break open, and it's sad, but it's also makes us stronger, makes us more powerful, and makes us more knowledge seeking.
Right. I feel as if not to cut you with, I'm sorry about that, but I feel that we also need to realize that we're a part of everything. You know what I'm saying? Us coming back, the people that did make it back to this trip, people listening right now, it's a part of everybody's dream and reality. And, the visions of so many people that you're here experiencing this. So we're here experiencing it. You're experiencing it through us. That's the ancestors' dream and goal. So it's not just happening to you. It's happening for you. You're a part of it. Be a part of it. Enjoy it. Flow with it. You have to.
It's happening for us, and it's it is us making it happen because we've been given an assignment, and we understand the assignment. We're thriving. We're making change, we're making a difference, and we're raising our consciousness and the consciousness of others. That's what we're doing here on this trip, and that's what we're doing at KBLA Talk 1580. So I'm so glad you could be with us virtually and auditorily as we travel in Nigeria, West Africa. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
KBLA Talk 1580. So we're in Badagry, and we had just finished our, I don't want to call it a pilgrimage, retracing of our ancestors' steps along the slave traders' trail to the slave ship. And on the way back to the boat to head to the mainland, while we were processing all of our thoughts and feelings, I got a chance to speak with the docent, our tour guide. And it was really fun. I felt like we were shooting a music video. Miles, I hope you post some of that stuff. Miles was actually recording video while we were speaking with this man. And it turns out that everything he sings about is everything he teaches about at Badagry. With the, we're in the market, you can hear the sounds. Everything he teaches about is everything he sings about at this slave memorial with historical artifacts that go back to the 1600s and which has been established by a returned slave. This is something I didn't even realize had happened. A returned slave who came back to build this museum and become a wealthy man and leave this legacy so no one would forget our history?
Stone Simon Cornerstone, or if my native name is Kofi. Ras Kofi.
Ras Kofi.
Yeah.
Ras Kofi.
Yeah.
And you are, what's your title? What would you say your title is?
My title? Well, I'm a reggae artist. I'm also a curator and educator of the Mobi's Family Slave Relics, where you will see the original chapels and chains that were used back then on our brother and sister that have been forcefully took away as a slave.
So when we look for your music, will we look for Ras Kofi?
No, Ras Ofi.
Ras Ofi. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll find your music. It's interesting. What a combination of things. You're playing music and educating people about the history.
Yeah.
You probably have done dozens, if not hundreds, of tours for people, right?
Definitely.
Many tours.
Yes.
And what's the common thing that you see with, I guess you have people from all over the world, but when Black Americans come, what's the common thing that you see?
Well, I vividly remember some pastor from the United States of America came down to a museum. And when we got to this route where we're working on right now, and I asked them some questions. And when they started talking, tears nearly dropped from my eyes. Why? But I vividly remember what the man said. He said, I asked the man, brother, tell me your feeling about the slave trade. The man said, well, we are just here to see how the motherland look like, because we are tired being a second-class citizen in another man's land. We had to tell you where to go, what to eat, what to put on. And when the man said a lot, I started dropping tears, because there's no place like a home. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you were crying.
You said what? Yes.
You were shedding tears.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you see many of us shedding tears too.
Definitely, because I don't know. I don't know why human beings we have to go to war, to enslave ourselves, to do this to ourselves, to settle our disputes. I think there is no love in the world. If there is love, you don't need to enslave ourselves. We don't need to go to war. What we have today in the war can go around if we manage it well. We didn't know to say, okay, because the problem is some people, the substances of many, just a person want to acquire it, while the other to be a slave. That's the problem that we are facing today in the world. So what we have in the world today, if we manage it well, it will go around. Everybody will smile. But as I said earlier, that we have 4 types of people in the world today. Some come to do good, some are here to destroy, some come to support it, and while some are here to wash. And where do you belong as a human being?
Where do you belong as a human being? What's your role? Are you an enslaver or a freer, a breaker of chains?
Yeah.
One thing I love about the way this museum is and the way you talk to us is that you really focus on liberation and rebellion.
Yeah.
Not that we were willingly enslaved.
Yeah, no, nobody will willingly want to be a slave.
Yeah, but we're taught that in the United States, that we were suited for slavery, that we're docile and we went along with it. So it's really important, I think, for us as freedmen to hear the stories of our rebellion.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think you said anytime the Africans could talk to each other, they would rebel.
No, come again. I don't get you.
You said when they were on the ships and they had the ability to communicate, they would kill all the people on board and take over.
Who?
The enslaved Africans.
Okay, you mean the European killed them?
No, when we rebel, when we you were talking
about when will the African rebel against
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what happened in Haiti. No, not Haiti, in Georgia.
In Georgia?
Yeah, in Georgia. Yeah, there's an island in Georgia named St. Simon in a Dover Creek, where over 75 of the Igbo slaves taken along Calabar, but through all they threw them to Georgia. One day, 75 of them said, we cannot be a slave in another man's land. What they did, they killed their masters. And in one accord, they walked into the ocean, they drowned themselves. They call the place Igbo Landing up today in Georgia.
Why do you do this? What's in it for you? What do you receive from doing this work?
Well, nothing. I just enjoy doing it. Because I'm an activist. You know, I told you I'm a musician, and most of my songs talks about slavery, emancipation, to set the people free from the shackles and chains. Let me say I'm a preacher man. I preach good news to the people to know their rights. You get it?
Yeah.
So I enjoy doing it because I meet a lot of people, especially when I see most of the African American coming around. You see, I just imagine somebody took your beloved one away from you for a very long time. And when people like you pay a visit, I receive them with joy. I feel like you are back home. I feel like you are connected to the motherland, which is Africa, Al Kibuna.
Al Kibuna.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Ashe. Let's see, you have your Ankh.
Ankh of life. Yes, yes. That's the Ankh. That's the original cross, which is the womb of a woman, which is Al Kibuna, the motherland, Africa.
You want to tell us maybe one of your lyrics or sing a little of one of your songs?
Let me sing one of my songs.
Okay.
Titled Apes Obey. Our ancestors, they used to be farmers. Suddenly, they invaded our homeland. Oh, fire, they set fire on our roofs. Oh, blood, them share blood on our roots. Them raped and struck the drag us in chains to unknown destination, into plantation. Now the chorus go. We Africans, we are not slaves. We are prince and princess. I and I no apes. We are the major follow do. Mare Adulawo. You are not inferior. We are so superior. So that's one of my songs titled Apes, because them say we are not human, that we are subhuman. So I just try to tell them that we Africans, we are human, because you can see the anchor of life, which symbolizes the motherland and the Garden of Eden.
And giving tribute to Allah
so now,
which is God Almighty.
My very soon you'll be all the platform. You'll be seeing my video. I did a video titled Rope of Freedom.
Rope of Freedom.
Let me just give some lyrics of the Rope of Freedom.
Okay.
Say, be where you are right now. Somebody paid the price. Being alive today, someone laid down his life. Are you satisfied with the kind of life you live in? The labors of our heroes shall not be in vain. The labors of our heroes shall not be in vain. That's it. Pull the rope, let it roll. That's the road, rope of freedom. Pull the rope, let it roll. That's the road, rope of freedom. I'm gonna say, some come to do good, some are here to destroy. Some come to support them, while some are here to war. Now say, where do you belong? There's something wrong. You got to be strong. It's going so long. Oh, Pull the road, let it roll, let it roll. That's the road, rope of freedom. Pull the road, let it go. That's the road, rope of freedom. Now the last but not, I'll say.
Last verse?
The last but not the least verse, I'll say. 400 years in slavery, we're still waiting for Messiah. 400 years in shackles and chains, no one to take us higher. In one accord, we shall surely win. If you believe it, we achieve it. That's the last verse. What the song is just talking about is if if we pull the rope of freedom, Africa will be back from where she fell off tracks. So you're welcome. Are you okay?
Yes.
Is that all? Or the cinema?
Wonderful. Yes.
Okay.
It's wonderful. So we're on the way to freedom.
Yeah,
we're on
definitely.
the way. Africa's on the way back. African Americans on the way back.
Yeah.
We're on the way.
Yeah, the dream of people like Marco Gavis, Marco is coming to be true, you know.
Yeah.
It's coming to pass. Their dream, you know, they have a dream for the repatriation of Africa. They want to repatriate home. They are coming back home, coming back to the motherland, the roots.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
So you're welcome
Yeah.
to the motherland, Africa, Al-Kibulan.
Al-Kibulan, that's
Yeah.
what we call it too.
Yeah, that's the original
That's what
name.
we call it in Lamert Park too.
Okay, Al-Kibulan, okay.
In Black Studies, we learn about
Okay.
Al-Kibulan,
Yeah.
Kemet.
Yeah, before they came and divided us.
Yeah.
And the blood them shed is thicker than that water that divided us as well. Are you okay? Should I?
Yes.
Yo, mate.
Ha,
Are you sick?
Continuing our broadcast from West Africa, Nigeria specifically, and we're deep in the countryside here. We drove for about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, through dirt roads and over bumpy terrain and into how the people here are living. Many of the people who have no money, the have-nots, the everyday people who are hustling and struggling, to a very small town called Badagry, whose main attraction is a museum with these artifacts from 1619 and 1600s, maybe not 1619, 1600s and beyond. And it is a permanent memorial to the experience of the enslaved and our rebellions. And here are some of the reflections that you're going to be hearing this hour from our trailblazers, our travelers from the United States, mostly Black Americans, freedmen, mostly, as we internalize and process what we saw, and I hope you're processing it with us. Don't forget to tap in on social media. We're at KBLA 1580. I'm at DiPrima Radio. Miles is at Miles Low Music. We're doing our best to bring you the sights, the sounds, and the feelings that we are experiencing here in Nigeria, West Africa, with the AFI Trailblazers and KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A new Texas law bans diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in public schools, including DEI offices. Sherry Sylvester is with the Texas Public Policy Foundation.
DEI is a program that divides students into two groups, oppressed and oppressors.
The ACLU and student advocates are suing, calling the law discriminatory and harmful to marginalized students. It takes effect this fall. Dr. Melanie Bryant has been named director of Baltimore's LGBTQ+ Affairs Office. She'll lead efforts to expand resources and equity for LGBTQ+ residents. The city's Black mayor, Brandon Scott, calls her appointment timely as Bryant, also Black, vows to support the community amid growing federal challenges. And BET is laying off hundreds as part of Paramount Global's latest workforce cuts. Black CEO Scott Mills says the move will streamline operations while preserving core content areas. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
So as you go into Sherman Oaks on the 101 South, right about at Haskell, we do have someone changing their tire. They're kind of close to the lanes. A little bit of slowing as you approach. And then traffic has really slowed down as you go through Hawthorne because of this earlier motorcycle crash, 105 West, just before Crenshaw. Left lane is going to be blocked. Fire crews should be on the scene, but traffic is pretty jammed coming from the 110. Then in Compton, we have a semi-truck crash on the 91 East right at Santa Fe Avenue there in the center lane. It looks like you got a little bit of a backup coming from Alameda.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the tiger? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Both of LA's Major League Baseball teams got a win last night. The Dodgers beat Colorado 8-1. 6 RBIs for third baseman Max Muncy, including a grand slam in the 7th inning. The Dodgers wrap up their 3-game series at Colorado today with a day game. The Angels completed a 3-game sweep over Boston with a 5-2 win. At 40-40, the Angels are at 500 for the first time since May 23rd. The Angels are off today. They're at home Friday night against Washington. The Lakers had no first-round pick last night in the NBA draft. They gave it to New Orleans in 2019 in the trade to get Anthony Davis. The Lakers have the number 55 pick in tonight's second round. The Clippers had the last pick in the first round at number 30. They used it to select Yannick Conan Niederhauser, a 7-foot center from Penn State. Niederhauser grew up in Switzerland. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
Every mother deserves a healthy and joyous pregnancy and birth, and every baby deserves to thrive. That's why the Los Angeles County Abundant Birth Project is here. The Abundant Birth Project is a guaranteed income program that provides cash during pregnancy to pregnant individuals at the highest risk of preterm and low birth rate babies. Although program enrollment has closed, our commitment to Black joy and thriving continues. Through tailored services that foster mental well-being and community-based resources, we provide care and support during pregnancy and after the baby is born to help build brighter futures for our families. Join us in celebrating abundant births in LA County. For more information, please visit abundantbirthproject.org. abundantbirthproject.org. It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's a great group of travelers. We've got actually 52 folks, which is more than we said we were bringing, but 52 folks from different parts of the country, mostly African Americans, mostly LA, but we've got a blend, and it's been really a joy to get to know people. Some of them I already know. It seems like with the KBLA African Focus joint venture of these trips to the motherland, many people return. If they skip a year, they come back again. So it's become an extended family of African Americans and others who love to travel, who love to learn, who love our history, who love our people, and have grown very fond of the motherland and very curious and very inspired by what we see and what we have the opportunity to experience. I'm broadcasting right now from the crafts market, so you can hear the sounds of people building things and cleaning up from a rainy, rainy morning in Lagos. But right now, I want to take you to some of the reflections of our African Focus Trailblazers as we process what we experienced at the Badagry Slave Memorial, deep in the countryside of Nigeria, West Africa. Summer, it is great to see you, and I'm glad you're traveling with us. I know you've been to Africa more than once, many times in fact. Why did you decide to come to Nigeria?
Well, I think, my goal is to go to as many countries as I can. And I think for Nigeria, I'm just interested from a cultural perspective, what it offers. And the fact that I've had an opportunity to see the various dungeons, slave dungeons, and you find just the interesting stories as far as the horror, if you will, that our people went through to arrive in the States, and the level of resiliency. We had an opportunity yesterday to go to the slave dungeon and then take that mile walk to the beach. And that within itself was people with 20-pound weights or so on their backs. Their mouths had been surgically, if you will, muzzled, and the pain and not having a bath for 4 months, and to walk in a straight file line in sand. And as anybody that's walked there in sand knows, it's difficult walking on pavement, but sand is a whole nother thing for at least a mile. So I think coming here, again, is just another puzzle, if you will, of exploring Africa.
Yeah, it was really a lot going on that trek. And it's interesting you say that, because I found that too now, going to slave memorials in Ghana, in Tanzania, Nigeria, Senegal, the Gambia. They all have a different story to tell. You would think, oh, it's another slave site. Well, you've got to prepare yourself emotionally and spiritually, but they all have different stories to tell.
Yes, different stories and different levels of torture as far as trying to break down someone's mind to control them, before they took this journey. And so when I look at it and I see the resilience, if you will, of Black folks, the fact that these people couldn't, you remove their ability to communicate because you shut their mouths, but they use their hair, they use their dance to communicate, you know, in a way that what trouble was ahead, but for them to be able to survive the best way they knew how to.
Yeah.
So it's.
How are you feeling emotionally after that? I mean, I know you, like I said, you've been to many countries, but somehow it doesn't wear off.
It doesn't wear off. And when you hear the stories, it does impact you, the level of, again, the cruelty that you would take a people through for your own gain, that you thought you could control a people like that. But it's the level of cruelty that is just, you know, just hearing it was more than just putting a muzzle. You literally tape my mouth open by searing it with a metal sword in the mouth to create this muzzle so I can speak, you know, and then hung me one arm in the air to show people that you had control over me. You know, the rest of the people to kind of put them into submission, if you will. So I just, I struggle with it because I see, you know, even in America, the level of cruelty, if you will, that African Americans are facing by people trying to erase us, by people trying to, you know, just attack us in ways that they know that it should make us anger. But I see the same resiliency our people had coming, that we still have that same resiliency. So we are not a people to be played with, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's right. We also had a cultural welcoming, which was, to me, interesting because it really spotlighted some of the different ethnic groups and different traditions, cultural traditions. What was your takeaway from that?
I thought that it was very interesting, especially the one with the, I don't know quite the name of the outfit, the grass.
Oh, those are, they call them masquerades. They're ancestor or Egun or ancestor dances.
Yes.
Pay tribute and give honor to the ancestors.
Yeah.
And it's they were like these huge costumes, which we saw at the museum, if you remember, and then we saw it come to life in the dance.
Yes, yes. I found that one was very interesting because that was very different from the perspective to see it, and then to see it in their act was quite different. Yeah.
Well, how many different countries have you been to?
I want to say I'm probably up to maybe 20 countries.
20? Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go to 54, which is how many there are before I leave the building, but that's very ambitious, right?
Yes. I mean,
Africa is far.
Yes.
And, you know, and there's a lot of countries.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I had that same goal because each country you go to, you get, it's a piece of the puzzle, a different piece of the puzzle that you see each time that fits together, you know. And I think the other thing, too, was realizing the importance of your name. You know, my name doesn't say where I'm connected, where their names here say or have a connection to them.
Yeah. So what's the one thing out of all 20 countries? Do you have a favorite place? Is there one overriding feeling or thought that stays with you?
The word resilience. And then in coming home, when I come home because I don't take where I'm from, I don't bring it with me. So I let my experience be very authentic as far as really immersing myself within a culture, to take time to understand the people that I'm seeing and interacting with.
Summer, thank you so much for talking with me this morning.
I appreciate you so much. I enjoy listening to you every morning because you definitely give some jewels that kind of to brighten our day and to kind of keep us focused and release a place of truth. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail, because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD. But did you know that Black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI. Are you ready to play? Then jump into the LA 84 Foundation's Free Play Day Block Party, a community celebration for all ages, including live music, dancing, LA's pro sports teams, great local food trucks, plus special giveaways for you to take home. Enjoy an exciting, fun-filled day for the entire family. Join us Saturday, June 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 2141 West Adams Boulevard. To register, go to la84.org. We'll see you Saturday, June 28th at LA 84 Foundation's Free Play Day Block Party.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
So we had a chance to sit down and speak yesterday, but that was before our trip to the Badagry Slave Museum.
Yes.
What are your reflections now?
Well, once again, to be able to look back, and it was such a emotional, sentimental moment to be able to go to those areas where my forefathers and my ancestors left before all the horrors of the Middle Passage and slavery itself, but to be able to go to those castles, those dungeons, to be able to walk the trail that they actually walked and see their final point of no return was just such an emotional experience for me. It's very moving. And to be able to hear the history, to be able to hold those shackles, the actual weight, and to envision them experiencing all those horrors, it's just something. But at the same time, walking those trails and understanding that I would be able to return from the point of no return, and all the sacrifices that, you know, they endured just for us, you know. But it was very moving, and, you know, just to see the emotions of the crowd and everybody coming together as a family, you know, just kind of even brought us closer together, I would say, as a group. But like I said, to be able to walk the actual path, you know, and envision, you know, my grandfather, great-grandfather, Horatio Lorenzo Bucktrout Dow Dickerson, who was born a slave, you know, and yes, 3 times, but it's very moving, and it's something that I cherish forever.
How are you processing emotion? Spiritually, physically?
You know, even after the fact, sitting back and reflecting, it's kind of just moving me, you know, almost to tears. Once again, you know, the horrors, and just to know that history, it's hard to, you know, digest or consume all that just in one bite. And I'm sure once I get back, get a chance to reflect, you know, and see some of the emotions of some of our fellow travelers, you know, and being able to share those sentiments and feelings. It's moving. It's, like I say, you know, our books and our scholars are so very important, but to be able to walk those steps and experience it firsthand, not firsthand, but after the fact, you know, it's just, like I said, something I'll cherish forever.
All right, Joe, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Dominique. For sure.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver has pleaded not guilty to federal charges of assaulting ICE agents during a protest-filled visit to a Newark detention center.
But we look forward to the next time in court. We're going to take this all the way through. They know they're wrong, and we're going to prove them wrong because the facts are on our side.
She says the charges are political and vows to fight them. Her trial is set for November 10th. Taylor Toronto, convicted of threatening a government site and illegal gun possession near the Obama's D.C. home, is seeking a new trial. His lawyers argue D.C.'s gun laws are unconstitutional under recent Supreme Court rulings. Sentencing is set for August 26th. And closing arguments begin today in Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking trial. Prosecutors dropped some charges but are pressing ahead with racketeering and trafficking claims. Combs, who didn't testify, has pleaded not guilty and faces up to life in prison if convicted. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, it looks like we still have that backup through Hawthorne 105 West just before Crenshaw. There was an earlier motorcycle crash blocking the left lane. Traffic pretty jammed coming from the 710. Then in